Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another live stream for you. Hope all of you are doing really well today. I got some crocheting here. I have some water kefir, and all is good. Oh, we have a guest already. Let's see who it is. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I was about to say, I'm like, are you frozen or what? What's the deal? What's the deal? Hello. I'm like,
Hey.
I'm going through technical stuff today. Hi, everybody. When I initially set up the stream, I was just like getting everything ready, and I didn't realize that on YouTube it was like, yes, Craig's doing a live stream, but I didn't hit like go live, and so it's just up there. And then I got a text from somebody saying, yeah, are you going live or not, or what? Or and I'm like, oh. So I had to then say, okay, I'm scheduling it for 7. Sorry. I'm still learning.
Hey, especially on new devices, like I'm going from my iPad right now. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, what's that expression? You can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing. But I'm trying, yeah, because like literally, what today is Friday, so on Tuesday I just got my new phone. And so I'm still getting used to stuff. So, I mean, it's still a an Android, and so I'm not getting used to a different operating system. It's just like whenever you get a new device, like you have to like re-sign into everything. Um, so there was that, and I'm like, okay, do I remember? Do I
Yeah.
remember passwords and things?
Well,
So the audio is good, everybody, and the
let me
visuals,
come over here. I'm gonna pull up. I have it pulled up over here.
everything groovy. Awesome. Okay. Um, Thank you, Panda. Yeah, my face is drafty at the moment. As soon as I shaved my beard off, I'm like, there's a draft.
I haven't shaved in
Um,
like 2 weeks, and it's like already hitting the corners. I got to go in there and trim that up.
well, you're a manly man. Um,
I'm just lazy. That's all it is.
well, yeah, I mean, like I don't do the whole like I don't thread my eyebrows, and I don't get waxed or groomed or anything like that. No, I have a buzzer, and the buzzer has a guard. That's it. I haven't
That's
been
all I
to
do.
a I haven't been to a barber in decades. I just do it myself. It's easier that way.
Well,
You
normally
know.
that's how I do it, but this
Yes,
last
Ellen,
week
I'm a
or
naked spider. I'm not naked. I'm naked. Yes.
last week I said screw it and went and paid for them to buzz my head because I just didn't feel like messing with it.
No, I understand. Well, the
I rarely
reason
do that.
one of the reasons why I like doing it at home is because, um, like at a barber, like, and they buzz, it's like you get all those little scratchy, itchy bits around your neck and stuff. It's like, if I do it at home, exactly, Cheryl, low maintenance. Um,
Yes.
and yes, I'm streamlined for spring. Yes, I'm aerodynamic. Wow. Um, and because like as soon as you're done, buzzing everything, it's like you just hop in the shower, and it's one-stop shopping, so to speak. So,
Mhm.
and I'm cool with being economical. Hi, Dill and Panda. So glad everybody's here. So right now I'm just continuing on with the project that I started during my last live stream. I didn't make a ton of progress, but it's a simple granny square, um, something that I can do while streaming. Um, and who's he? What's it? It's well, because in a previous stream, Matt was talking about doing donations for veterans, and so this is going to be an ongoing thing for me. I would like to think, just work on like simple rando square blankets between now and when they're doing collections, and amongst other things, What do you got there? What are you working on?
I'm working on that new blanket that I showed you. That I really can't show too much of
That's
anything. I'm just trying
that's
to not get
fine. I
tangled. There we
respect the
go.
privacy.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I kind of changed up my idea a little bit, and it's grown into a different monster.
That's
But
fine.
it's another one of those that are born out of pain,
Mm.
because like we were 80 just a day or so ago, and we're 50. I don't know, what are we right now? Let's see. Oh, come on. We're 54 and we're expecting snow.
Oh, you mean degrees? I'm like, you're talking numbers. I'm like, numbers
Yeah,
of what? I'm like,
80
you're not
degree.
54 years old.
Yeah, we were not yet. We were 80 degrees just a day or two ago, and now it's raining outside right now, 54 degrees, cold front coming in a few hours, and we're in a winter storm watch right now.
Mm. Hi, Darth Mom and Doggy
In the Texas
Light.
Panhandle.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, here it's been fluctuating. Um, yeah, you're expecting snow and rain, crochet, knit, yarn. Dang, Sandy, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's been quite fluctuating around here. Uh, Is 964 yards enough for a virus shawl? I would say probably yes. I mean, of course, it depends on the weight of the yarn, the hook size that you're using, how big you want your dimensions to be. Because I mean, also everybody has a different tension. So there's no like one size fits all as far as like, this shawl is X number of yards. I never like to say that I never like to say anything is definitive, because then somebody invariably will prove me wrong. Offhand, offhand, I would say that yes, over 900 yards should be enough. I mean, if you want this to go down to your ankles, then no, it's not enough. But it for a normal sized shawl where like the bottom tip of the triangle goes down, like around your waist or past your waist, and the neckline edge is like draped on your shoulders, yes, that should be fine. Red Heart Ombre, um, I would say, yeah, that should be enough because also Red Heart Ombre is a bit of a thicker yarn. So, I mean, me with that yarn, I would probably use a size J crochet hook because it's a bit robust. You want it to have a good drape. You want it to have a good flow. Like I wouldn't use a like a an H or a G or something like that because then it's going to be a stiff muffin.
Yeah.
You
So I
know.
want to show you something.
Oh,
I was
go
going to
right
save
ahead.
this. I was going to save this for my live on Friday. Well, they're going to see this. Plus, I got something else coming in tomorrow, so they'll be able to see this next Friday. I got some new sets in. Somebody out there in YouTube
Sets.
land sent me some
Ooh,
Tunisian
let me
sets.
let me blow you up, babe. Let's see, solo layout. Go for
So
it.
first and foremost is this. Now the case, it is not pleather, it is leather. And it is just gorgeous when I show you. I'm going to open it up. I'm sorry if it's loud.
Is it Avon?
Wow, look at those.
Oh wow.
And they're Tunisian.
Oh, look at you. Well, wait, are they
They're
with
metal.
cord ends, or you can do cords on those?
Yes.
Ooh, look at you.
Where's the camera on this thing?
Look at you. What brand is that?
They're an AliExpress brand.
Oh, okay. You know what? I've
And
never tried AliExpress or Temu.
they've come with really nice. This one I kind of mess with them, but they're not as thick as the other cables of the metal ones that I normally use.
Hmm.
But they are braided metal, and they're swivel,
Ooh.
and they've got the nice little
The
stoppers
stoppers.
and
Very
stuff.
cool.
I'm not like the next set I'm about to show. Not 100% of a fan on the stoppers.
The stoppers?
Yeah, I'm just not they're not. I'm just not a fan of the stoppers or whatever you want to call them. But this set is like, it's gorgeous. Like I love the rainbow aspect of it, you know. Um, and it's got that elusive 7mm Indonesian.
No, that's cool.
Okay, next one.
Yes.
Of
I love
course,
show and tells. And
it's a
oh,
nice leather.
that's a very dapper clutch you got there.
Yeah, nice. You know, the magnets are pretty strong on these. Normally they're not, you know, when you get
Yeah,
these
I know.
cases. So I'm going to turn it this way because there's a nice surprise. Okay. Ooh, don't fall out. All right, here you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very, very dapper.
And it has
So,
pretty much similar chords as the ones I
uh-huh.
just showed,
What's wrong
but
with
they're
the
blue.
stoppers, though? What's the matter with them? Are those paws?
Yes.
Is that why, because of the shape of them, that you're not a crazy fan of them because they're paws?
Yeah, because they're paws.
But you're a
I just
dog
think they don't
dad.
go, I don't think they go well with these.
Okay, so it's an aesthetic, not a function thing.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic, not a function thing.
Okay, okay. No, I think that they're cute. Well, you know what? Oh, there's a reason why they're little puppy prints. You want to know why?
Hmm.
Because they pause the yarn.
How did I knew you were going to say something like that?
Da-da! Da-da!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, those I got another set coming tomorrow. But I'll show that one off. That one is real fancy.
Well, thank you for sharing. That's cool. You know, I'm working on way too many things right now, but you know that that's my,
Yeah.
that's my MO. Um, thank you all things. You know, Tammy, thank you. Yeah, I know. My humor is pun-ishing. I know. It's bad. It's bad, but you know, it's something that I inherited from my dad.
No, I'm gonna move the chat larger so I can see it. Because I'm blind. There we go. Now I can
Jeanette.
read the chat.
So I'm sorry, I'm terrible with my memory and names. So Jeanette, you are the one who's doing the veteran work, yes? You didn't recognize me without a hat quilty crocheter. Well, you know what? Wait, look, see, it's really me. My face is still naked, but it's really me. Oh, thank you, Joshua. Yes, okay, it is Jeanette. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, I've got like a goldfish memory, but a goldfish memory with dementia. Um, you know, my memory is awful. I'm sorry. So like if I don't talk to somebody like on the regular, there's only so much room in my like peripheral memory. So it's like if I like somebody, you know, like I'll see at my job or something like that, like a regular patron. If I don't see them on the regular, I forget, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing that I look in the mirror every day because otherwise I'd be in trouble. Um, thank you, Crocus. Um, yes, Jeanette, I think it's awesome that you're doing the happy hats and so on and so forth. I think it's awesome. So yes, I'm gonna try to do my part for that. You know, it's gonna be because I have 1,000,001 projects going on at any given time. So this will
Yeah.
be like a continuous back burner side project that I will be working on. And then when I finish this one, I'll start another one. And, you know, before you know it, I'll have, you know, hopefully a reasonable stash that I can send in. And yeah, So, gonna go get dinner, Tammy. Okie dokie, we'll be here. And so, yeah, I've been working on a whole bunch of different things, crocheting, knitting, just lots of stuff. Now, I don't remember, because I remember I showed, this was Millicent that I showed in the last one. Did I show Midge, or was Midge not done yet?
I don't think he was done yet.
Because here's Midge the Pidge right here.
Yeah, okay, yes, he was done. Now
I
you're
did?
seeing
Okay.
color.
And I started another one actually, but I didn't finish it yet because I wanted to show you what it looked like not being finished. So this is the emotional support chicke, not the chicken, the chicke, the smaller version. These work up pretty fast, all things considered. So before seaming it, let me just, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go
You're
full
fine.
screen for a moment. Thank you. I'm sorry. Solo. There we go. Okay, so the emotional support chicke, it's knitted flat, so you don't have to worry about double pointed needles and all that craziness. So this is another chicke that I am currently working on. So yeah, it's done flat, and here is the inside. They look pretty much the same. This is the beak up here, and these are the tail feathers down here. And then you when you close it up flat, you get the little chicke silhouette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the shaping is done with short rows, so it's pretty easy. I mean, there's some like wrap and turn going on, but it is pretty easy. And then so these markers that I have here, this is the top of the diamond. Right here's the middle of the diamond, and then here is the other tip of the diamond. And the diamond, you sew this in sort of like a dart in like clothing making. So you sew this in, and then you stuff it, you seal it shut, and then so like you can see this is the diamond and the placement of it. So it gives it some body, some 3 dimensions to it. So it's essentially, just 2 pieces that are, done together. I think it's adorable. So yeah, this is one that I will be finishing, but because I like I said, I can never work on just one thing, you know, at a time. I've been working on a bunch of stuff. Let me just get out of solo mode. There we go. Okay. So I have been rather fascinated since that. I've been rather fascinated with um, doing other knitted items that are knitted flat,
Mm.
but then given some dimension, through shaping and so forth. And so I found in my travels, here it is. I found, now he doesn't have a face yet, um, but this was knitted flat and then seamed similarly to the chicke. So this is a little bunny.
Oh,
He's a little bunny ball. And it's actually very, very simple. There's increases, decreases, but it is knitted flat and then it's seamed. And so you can see the seam in the back here. Now, this is before I discovered the mattress stitch for a seamless seam, a completely
mm,
invisible seam. And so I did discover how to do the mattress stitch, and it works. It totally works. So
awesome.
yes, this little guy, yes, he just needs a face and he will be ready to rock and roll. I might give him a tail. I don't know. His bum is a little naked. But so this was like one of my first forays into trying to do something else. Then because I am a yes, it is a baby bun, Ginger. Yes, little baby bun. Um, yeah, I know he needs a tail. I'm sorry. Um, and so, because I'm a glutton for punishment and so on and so forth. Oh, we have another guest. Sorry. Uh, Ah,
Oh, did you kick him out? Hey, Russ.
hello.
Hello, hello. How's everyone doing?
Good,
Good,
how are
yourself?
you?
Tired.
Understood. Glad you could make it. Yeah, we've got two others that are potentially maybe joining at some point, don't know, but we shall see. And so how are you doing, dear Russ?
I am doing just fantastic.
Good. How are the kids?
Ornery as ever.
They take after
It-
Papa,
It's like the terrible twos.
is it?
Come on, sweetheart.
Is Tippy going on another buying spree? Thank you, Panda.
No. Come here, sweetheart. Up we go. Say hi to everybody. Say
Hi,
hello.
baby.
Say hello.
Hi.
Mm.
Julia, it's sewing, knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, dyeing. It's
It's
fiber arts in
everything.
general, but I would say it's generally fiber arts, but we talk about all sorts of things. You know,
Yes.
um, I mean, mostly craft related, but we go on tangents of cool movies or books or things, or there are a few things that we don't talk about. Religion and politics we don't really talk about. But otherwise, yeah, let's chit chat. We're just having a good time. In the crafty community. Yes, all bow to Princess Tippy. No, she's not princess. She's queen. She's Queen Tippy. I'm sure that she has Hepburn glasses somewhere, right? Those big bug-eye glasses, sunglasses. And gloves that go all the way up.
Panda said Russ is the queen.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Empress, there you go. Empress Tippy.
Oh my goodness.
Get out of here with that phone.
Definitely a little Hepburn.
You totally shaved everything.
I told you, you saw.
Uh-uh.
I thought I sent you a picture.
Uh-uh.
No?
He sent me
I
the
thought I
picture,
did.
and I was flabbergasted when I saw. I was like,
Well, I
"Whoa,
went to work the other day and everybody was just like,
who's you?"
Who's the new guy?
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just who's on.
It's different.
It's Rudy underneath.
it is different,
I'm always used to you having it really, really short, and I'm always used to you having the goatee.
Well, I haven't done an actual goatee since I was maybe in my 20s. I've just like kept it just a beard. I always shave the cheeks and the neck, because if I don't shave the neck, I go crazy.
Mm.
I get so itchy. I don't know how people can stand it. And I just try to keep my cheeks and my neck clean, but then the rest I let grow. And then after a while, I put the guard on my buzzer and I just clean it up a little bit and then let it grow
Yeah.
some more, clean it up a little bit. Because ladies, you don't, well, in theory, you never have to deal with this problem. But like when the bristles get long, they go up my nose and they get all itchy and it's
Or they dig into the corner of your lip.
yeah. Like they right into the corners. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It can, I mean,
See, I can't grow here. Nothing
no?
really comes out. So I just said, screw it, I'm gonna do the goatee. Normally I kept it
Yeah.
all buzzed, but I normally just grow the goatee. Might as well.
So it's just another thing. Yeah, so Russ, what we were talking about, right, as you were joining us, so I've been experimenting with different things, with Midge the Pidge and with this little bunny Foo-Foo. And then I decided to go a step further, using what I learned from doing the little bunny. I'm like, you know what? I want to take this a step further. So without a pattern, I decided to use the techniques that I was learning, and I made this guy. and I'm really, really happy with how he turned out. I am, because I learned a lot in the process. So everybody say hello to my good friend, Peanut.
It's adorable.
I love that monkey.
And so now the thing is that midway through making my good friend Peanut, I did learn a few things. I'm just going to put myself on solo for just a minute, guys. Excuse me one moment. I'm sorry. Oh, I hit mic. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, so this, my friends, this is Peanut. He is my little monkey friend. And so while I was making him, I hadn't learned the mattress stitch yet. So you can see in the back here, yeah, it's closed, but it looks like he has a run in his stocking. And so I mean, I like how he turned out. He's very sensitive. You know, I'm not going to be criticizing him, but I
Just some
knew that
stretch
I could.
marks.
But yeah, stretch marks. There you go. So I knew that I could do. It is sort of like I was inspired by the sock monkey. I was. And so I knew that I could do better. So then, and also his arms also were pre-mattress stitch. Now, the legs and the tail, I did do the mattress stitch, and I'm really pleased because if you look, there's none of that funkiness. Actually, the seam is right here, but if you look closely, it is pretty darn good. You know, and then his other little leg, let's see, where's the seam? Okay, the other seam is actually right here. So it doesn't have that weird wonkiness going on. And also his tail as well. The seam is actually this line right here. So I am quite pleased with the result with doing the mattress stitch. So that has emboldened me. That has emboldened me to work more on doing knitted amigurumi toys, because actually a monkey was one of the first things that I did with crocheting amigurumi, and I thought it would be fun to branch out into knitting. This took me on and off, I would say, about a week-ish. You know, it's fairly sizable. You know, he's a chunky monkey, but he has sort of like the body shape of a peanut. So I'm like, yeah, he's kind of like a little peanut.
That's cute.
So thank you. So I was inspired to make this little guy, and because again, I'm a glutton for punishment. This ginger, this is actually my own design, and this was just basically utilizing techniques that I had put together and learned, and just sort of Frankensteined him together. And actually, so it was knitted flat and shaped with you know, increases and decreases. Now this muzzle is actually a sock heel that I incorporated into the design. So it's sort of a knitted heel that you would do for socks, but I'm like, this would make a good muzzle. So in furtherance of that, I'm like, okay, I want to do a tutorial at some point. So I wanted to do a slightly smaller scale version of it so that it would be more accessible, a little bit easier, because this is, I want to say, I think this is like 56 stitches or so in circumference. This one is my next rendition. This is about 40 stitches in circumference. And so this is a sort of a mini rendition that I'm currently working on. And as you can see, along the back, I did the mattress stitching for the seam, and it is seamless. So yes, and I did, again, sort of like a little mock short row heel for his little muzzle here. So this is going to be another little monkey friend. And so it's a work in progress, you know, and I already have his little limbs ready for seaming and stuffing and attaching on. So it's something that I'm working on. Let me get out of solo mode. Thank you guys for being patient. There we go. So yeah, it's what I'm working on. You know, just wanted to share that with you guys.
It's
You know,
awesome,
now
though.
I know abundantly well that the vast majority of you on here are not so much into knitting as you are into crocheting, and I get that. You know, not knitting isn't for everybody, but it is a big part of my stitch repertoire, and I like to share it with you guys. And the really cool thing about this particular example is that it's worked flat. So you could work with just straight knitting needles with the caps on the ends, or circulars. You don't have to work with double pointed needles. It's really easy in that regard. What are you chuckling about, Russ?
You you love double point needles.
And cables, right?
Cables while using double points.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you say that. Where are they? Where? Oh, wait, they're in my bag. It's funny you say that because actually, I got these just yesterday. I got a whole set of double pointed needles from Amazon. They were like $12. Yeah, I was surprised. You know, it was about $12, and they came with and they're 5 needles per size. So there's 5mm, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 4.5.
Craig, somebody's
2. Yes?
asking if the penguin or it's the chickens. That's what they are. If they are your own pattern, and
Oh no,
I'll let you
no,
answer that.
no. I'm sorry. Thank you for uh, bringing that to my attention. No, the emotional support chickies. That is a pattern. If you go back to, I think it was my last live stream, I did post a link to the pattern that I found on Etsy. I want to say it was like maybe about $5. I found that it was easy to understand. You know. And also there were some diagrams as well. I thought it was pretty easy to understand. I would go for it, you know, and you can make one of those in a day. Hello, Kristen. So yeah, 2, 4.5, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 2.5, 3, 5, 2.75, and 3.5. So you get a lot of sizes. And I want to say it was like maybe about $12 or so. And it also came with some stitch markers, some of those little like rubber stoppers for the ends for your needles, some clippers, a tape measure. Like it came with fixins, you know, and goodies. And I think it was a good buy, actually. Oh, except, uh-oh, I
It's
spoke too soon. The zipper pull just came right off in my hand. Wow, speak of the devil. Okay, and it's zipped closed.
paperclip.
Oh no. No, the whole thing came off.
Oh,
Oh, this is cute. That giggle should be illegal.
sorry. It was a cute pouch.
This is an adorable pouch. I mean, Prada, this is not, but oh, seriously?
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it looks like you're gonna leave a review.
Yeah, these would be great if I could use them. If I could get into the dang bag. Oh my god. Seriously? Russ. Russ.
Be like, I would be knitting, but they're here.
You know, this bag is great. You know, it keeps them really safe.
The whole thing rips off. And they're gonna be like, that's the security feature.
Well, because there's nothing stopping the zipper pull from coming off. Like there was no stopper at the end to prevent this. And this is happening live, you know, not pre-recorded. This incident is happening to me live. Oh, we have another guest. Hello.
Hey, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Did you see what happened?
No.
Oh, you're really low on the volume.
Am I really low?
You're very, very low.
That's because I'm on my.
Can hardly hear you, hon. You with us?
Yeah.
We can I can hardly hear you. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Speak up.
I am.
Like we can hardly hear you.
Of course, it's got to be the only person with an issue is got to be the only straight person.
Hey, you know, that's the way it always goes.
No, seriously, dude. Like, there's something up with your mic or something. Can you turn up the volume?
Sandy says your $12 was well spent, for Craig.
Well, honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna. Yeah, Matt. Because I got this really cool bag with like all of these great double pointed needles inside, and then as I was closing
Now
it,
can you hear me?
yes, thank you. As I was closing the bag,
Sorry,
the little
didn't
zipper
know
pull
that was
came
gonna do
right
that.
off. The little zipper pull came right off. Now I'm getting an echo. What'd you
You're
do?
getting an echo.
Who is that? Russ?
Not me.
Mine's not
you're
echoing nothing.
no, you're Michael. You're pointing into the corner.
Oh,
You
mine's
mean-
Matt.
No, I should be good to go.
You have multiple devices playing.
No, I have me playing. That's it.
We have a total echo thing going on.
It's not echoing. It's Russ crunching on stuff.
It echoes.
Russ, say something.
I'm beautiful.
Matt, say something.
Hola.
Matt, you're the only one not echoing. By the way, I see you shaved.
I see you did too.
I molted.
You shaved a little bit more than what I did. Yeah, mine got a little itchy. Because when it gets in the wintertime, it's fine, but when it starts getting warm, then it starts getting itchy, and then it goes away.
Crocus, I am eating Michigan almonds.
Matt, please.
Not Blue Diamond almonds. What's up with that?
I live in Michigan.
We got to fix that. Echo.
Matt.
What?
No, seriously. There's some sort of echoey thing going on. There really is. It's pretty bad.
Oh, no, it's because audio.
All right, let's see. Yeah, we still got it.
What about now?
Well, let's see.
No.
No. Oh, great.
What?
Okay, it's good. Okay. I was like, because I was like, everything I say, I'm hearing it right back at me. I'm like, I don't even like the sound of my voice, and I'm like, it happens. It's okay. I'm just glad that we got it fixed. Yay. Okay. So, and how are you doing? Was work good?
Oh, work's busy. Busy.
You said you had like a little bit of overtime to do. All good?
All good.
Good.
It wasn't that long. It was just I had to take care of finish up a little something and then get out of Dodge.
No, it's understandable.
So how's everybody else doing?
Good. Just waiting for the snow to start.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm looking for something.
Yeah, we're getting
Which, of
snow in
course,
the
I
Texas
cannot seem to
Panhandle.
find.
It's April.
And we were 80 degrees just the other day. We've gotten blizzards in May, believe it or not, here.
Well, it's 72 and sunny now, right now.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably
Matt.
50 and still raining.
All right, Matt, because I have, like I was saying before, I have a goldfish memory. The blankets, you said it was 40 inches square?
Yeah, 40 by 40. They're lap gowns. And I saw earlier that Jeanette was in.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And
she was
so
here.
I know I still have to send her your address or send the address to you.
That's okay. Well, no, because I mean, it's going to take me a while because I mean, I'm still working on that blanket that I started on the last stream. So, and also I would like to have like a couple of them made before I do any shipping or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, like everything with us, But I just want to clarify on the measurements. I'm sorry. I know you told me before. I forgot. I should have written it down. I wrote it down now.
Oh no, it's all good. And I know somebody asked about the size of a shawl.
Mm.
But it was, I mean, there's 1,400, 1,200 yards in this cake, and I've only got a little ways through it. I'm about a little over half through it. So if they're thinking about a size, 1,000 yards will be good.
I mean, also it depends on like if you want to do more like a neck scarf or like a full body type shawl, like a full torso shawl. Because I mean, I've done like shawlettes where you have most of it actually resting on your chest, and then the tails you wrap around the back of your neck and then drape in the front. I've done those. It depends on how you want to wear it too.
I'll be right back.
True.
Okay.
And I tend to like the ones that are wider, like they're wider than they are deep.
You mean like more of a like the bottom angle is more of a obtuse angle?
Yeah, so it's a shallower. It's a
right.
Like
It doesn't go. It doesn't go. It's
longer.
It's
a
longer.
Wrap, but it's not.
It's not a
deep on the back.
It's not a right triangle, but it's more like it's like
obtuse triangle, but I don't think that's right either.
Right. It's like long, but it's not tall.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't go far down your back, but it goes like really long
It would go
horizontally.
around.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean those could be cool too. It really depends on what sort of styling you're going for, and that's the beauty of what we do is that there's a lot of variety out there.
Babe, do you have the hook? Is it on your table?
So are you working on anything fun, Russ, over there?
Besides laughing at you, no.
Well, that's full-time work.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, are you working on anything?
Of course.
Oh, is that a Leto?
Yeah, it's a Leto.
Ah, welcome to the club.
Well, it's
Show us your.
actually
I'm gonna put.
Rebecca's welcome to the club.
Well, you both are. Ooh, you got yourself a Leto. I mean, I know that they're not cheap, and it takes a while for them to arrive from Ukraine. But what do you think?
It's actually Rebecca, won it from Michi, so we got it faster. And I actually got to try it because it's shaped more like the furls.
Right.
So Rebecca was thinking, why don't you try it? And I did, and I was really surprised. I mean,
I think that they're
right.
absolutely fabulous.
They are fairly slick. I mean, they're not it doesn't grab, like it doesn't grab the yarn.
I mean, they're smooth as silk, seriously. And I haven't had any issues with mine since I got them. And I use them practically every day. I mean, granted, sometimes I'm knitting, but I use them all the time, and I absolutely love them.
And you gotta love the case.
I know, it's cute.
The cases are awesome. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I admit I never use the cases because I've got a rack for mine.
It's very like Eastern European.
Well, that's where they're at, though.
I know, but it's like when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's cool.
I mean, I love their work. I really, really, really do. Now, I mean, if they ever branched out into doing knitting needles, oh, I would be there. I would totally, totally be there. I don't know what sort of capacity they have for doing, say, circular needles, like cord attaching. Sorry?
I don't see what would I do, but I don't see what would so hard would be about. All you'd really have to do is like drill into the wood, put like for the same kind as like the chow goose. Like,
Sorry, give me 1 second. Cheryl says, I never learned to crochet, so please explain the difference in types of hooks, not sizes that I know. Thanks in advance. Well, as far as the different types of hooks, well, there's, well, this is ergonomic. Okay, it has like a nice ball type handle to it. Then there are also like aluminum ones, which are very, very straight. Oh, you've got a whole array there. There you go. Hang on. There you go. Okay, so yeah, that's a furls on the left, isn't it?
This one?
Yeah, that's a furls, right?
Yeah, that's an Odyssey.
Yeah, you got a furls, and then more of a traditional aluminum hook next.
That's a Zing.
And then you've got a slight ergonomic grip on the next. And then you have your Leto on the right there. Now the thing is that the cut in the hook that varies. There's two different styles, as I like to call them, a Bates and a boy. The furls on the left is more of a Bates because it's more of like a chisel cut, and then the one on the right, it's a bit more rounded, and that's more of a boy style of hook as far as the shape.
I thought the Zing, it was a little more like the Clover.
Yeah, and so that's essentially it as far as like the different styles of hook. Is there a use for each type, or is it just comfort? I would say it's predominantly comfort, Cheryl, because I mean, these are great, especially if you're doing like a very small gauge hook and you're working with like a very thin yarn or thread, it can be very, very hard on your hands working in a small gauge, or if you work for really long periods of time, having something that's ergonomic really, really helps. If you're doing Tunisian, it can't be ergonomic because you have to slide your stitches all along the length of the hook. So there's, in my mind, to my knowledge, there's no such thing as an ergonomic Tunisian hook.
No.
Is my
But
volume
as
screwed
far
up?
as, pardon?
Is my volume screwed up?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're good. So there's really no such thing as an ergonomic Tunisian hook because you have to slide all of your stitches and hold all of your stitches. But as far as like a regular one stitch at a time crochet hook, these are a game changer as far as an ergonomic grip. As far as Leto Workshop, I am not sponsored. I am not affiliated, but I love their product and I've been using it for years and they are really good at what they do. And I mean, these are, look for yourself, they're just gorgeous. And like the different styles and the different kinds of wood and so forth, they are gorgeous. Now, that being said, they are not cheap. But if you crochet all the time and you're looking to make an investment in your crafting, tools, I always say it's a justifiable expense because you're using them all the time. So I think in this case, you get what you pay for and it's worth it. That's my opinion.
No, you can walk.
So I would definitely recommend them by all means. Other comparable grips, if you will, the Clover Amour hooks, they got a good grip. You know, it's sort of like a squishy, like a silicone type grip. Those are really nice too. You can get those at Michael's. You can get sort of knockoff ones similar to that on Amazon. Definitely try to get something with like sort of like a silicone squishy type ergonomic grip. These are made out of wood. It's not squishy, but it's kind of bulbous, so it feels great in the hand. I hope all of that made sense and helped somewhat.
Well,
Sort of like a hook 101.
Think about it. Like Tunisian, you cannot have the ergonomic. Look at that. I mean, just because of that right there. I can't show you the
It's just
other
not
side because
possible.
that's my work in progress. But it's just not possible.
Yeah.
Unless
It's
you're
the
doing
nature of the beast.
entrelock. You know, unless you're doing entrelock, then that's the only thing that makes it possible. But other than that, no.
That's like knitting too. There's no ergonomic nothing. You
Well,
have
because
that.
like with Leto, I was thinking if they could do knitting needles, just like straight knitting needles on a lathe, and do those with their fancy woodworking skills and so forth, those would be great. You know, I would be totally about that. If not that, if they could do like circular interchangeable knitting needles, I mean, I would be all about that. If they could figure out how to do the joining between the needle and the cables and that sort of thing, I would be all over that like a cheap suit.
But and if they could do that in the double with your needles, they should be able to do it with Tunisian. But then you're looking at a fat hook, fat stitches.
You know, so I mean,
and
if they could figure out how to do it, I would be all over it. But considering that they are in Ukraine, I'm sure that they have a lot of stuff to deal with on their own without pandering to me and my crazy whims. But you know, I think it would be nice if they could. I would totally be like, you know, singing their praises if they could do it. I would, because I love their product. I really do, and I have for, I want to say like maybe 4 years now, roughly.
That's got to be close.
You know, because I mean, I do get a lot of questions about the hooks. You know, whenever I do a tutorial, they're like, oh, "That's gorgeous. Where did you get it?" I'm verklempt. It's gorgeous. Well, there you go. Leto Workshop. You know, they are awesome. You know, but I mean, I would say price range is like anywhere from like the style that Matt has, sort of like in the $20-ish range, to something more like, you know, something more like this, where you got like all the schmancy insets of the wood and so forth. I mean, this is more like
Harry Potter
I'm
wands.
spitballing here. I want to see more like in the like that. Sorry.
Harry Potter wands.
Yeah, well, you know, there's no unicorn hair in this, but this is more of like, you know, like the $50-$60 range, but you get what you pay for. So yeah, it's LETTO workshop.com. So
And
you know,
they're
take
gorgeous.
that for what you will. I think they're great. You know, if I didn't, I wouldn't use them like in every tutorial that I do all the time. But they're really sweet. They're really good at what they do. Michael, you had a question. How many yards does it take to do the Irish blanket? This is from Scripshaw.
Oh, that's not the Irish. Just spitballing. I'm going to say around 2,000 because it's Tunisian. And
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid fabric.
Yeah, about 2,000 yards should do it. You know, like the one.
Not hearing nothing, Michael.
Michael. Michael. Michael, you're muted. You're muted. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Say something. Hello.
I don't know what's going on.
There you go.
Oh, we can hear you now. You like now we can't hear you. Okay, I think Michael's going to be leaving us and coming back. I think he's having a connection problem. I'm sorry, folks. It's okay, you know, like that's the fabulous thing about technology, you know. See,
It's wonderful.
Russ,
when
it's
it
your
works.
turn next.
What do you mean?
You know, Matt, are you just messing? Matt? Okay, Michael, say something. No dice, Michael? Try disconnecting and reconnecting. I mean, like to the stream, maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay.
You good?
I'm good now, I
Yep.
think. I don't know what the hell.
Oh, awesome. Hey, you know what? Whatever works, you know. Yeah, Crocus, I think Matt's just being silly.
I'm just playing.
That's okay. You know, but no,
I don't
it's all
know.
good. You know,
It's the first time I ever used my iPad to go do this, so I have no effing idea.
that's okay. Just
That's-
blame it on Apple.
That's what I'm on. I'm on my iPad.
I'm on a
That's all
MacBook
good.
Pro.
So when you sent me the link, you texted it to me. So I had to
Yes.
take that text and turn it into an email and send it to my iPad so I could come live with my iPad instead of my phone.
Scrimshaw says, what were you saying about the labels when you had the labels in your hand and you were
the labels,
talking about the labels?
It's 12. The labels are for the saddleback, but for the saddleback is 269 yards times 12, however many that is. That's a lot. But for the Irish blanket, about 2,000 should be fine.
So yeah, Tunisian, it's gorgeous, but it is a bit of a yarn hog. So that's the trade-off.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I find the same sort of thing with if you ever do entrelac, it's like, yeah, it's a really solid fabric and it's great, but yeah, it is a serious yarn hog, like the Bavarian stitch and crocheting. You know, it's a yarn hog, but it's gorgeous. You know, there's always checks and balances. There's always a trade-off in there.
Yeah, and like with Tunisian, it also depends on the stitch. You know, some stitches are just yarn hogs.
And actually, hang on. Susan says, for the Tunisian needle, do they come bigger than a K size? Yes, they do.
They come in all sizes. I'll
Yes,
show
they
you.
do. Michael, expert, give us the lowdown.
They come in every single size you could, well, not
Hi,
every single size you
Christy.
could want, but from 3 to a 10 millimeter. And you can find others, bigger sizes if you really want to go that big. You can find them.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
To
also,
go
I
that
wouldn't be
big, it would
surprised if on, pardon?
to go if you do anything more than a 10 in Tunisian, you're going to be spending bucks on yarn
Yeah. Well,
because
unless
Ooh.
if you're doing something lacy.
Tunisian itself is just a yarn hog.
It is, but if you're doing something lacy, then not necessarily,
Yeah.
you know?
There was a lady talking on my live the other night, and she said that when the arm knitting was a fad a couple of years ago,
I
she made
remember
a
that.
blanket. She made a blanket, and it wasn't even a full size. And she said it cost her hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
heck no.
because, oh, thank you. Thank you, Christy. All right, wait, where is it? Where is it? There it is.
Because you're only getting like 30 some yards.
Thank you, Christy. You have a happy tooth. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you.
And then she said when she got it done, she can't even wash it because it would just fall apart.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Was she using roving?
Well, that's what the arm knitting was. All it
Oh
was,
no.
all it was is this roving that hasn't been spun yet. You know how
Right.
when you buy roving to spin, right? And then you
Yeah,
draft it.
unfortunately, I remember when that was a craze where people were using roving as yarn. And then I saw a video, somebody showing it's like, yeah, you don't want to do this, and here's why. And they
Mm-hmm.
showed that basically it got matted and gross in a
Well, yeah,
very short
because
period of time.
well, roving itself, the more you feel with it and play with it, it felts.
Thank you,
It
Crocus. You guys are so sweet. Sorry to
it
interrupt you,
will
Russ, but
it
thank you
will
so much.
eventually just turn into a big mat.
It will. Because yeah, she did like a small piece to show what happens because yeah, roving, it's like unfelted wool or
Yeah.
unspun wool. It hasn't been processed really in any way other than it's been carded and combed into a lot of strands going in the same direction. Other than that, it's really not processed. And people are using roving for their arm knitting. And yeah, it looked gorgeous for a thumbnail. But aside from that, it is the most non-usable, impractical thing. And roving is expensive. I remember seeing people doing that with like merino roving, making full-sized blankets for, you know, doing their influencer thing. And I was tearing my hair out, and this is the result right here. And but the thing is, what I did when arm knitting was a big thing, and I did some arm knitting myself, I would take a ton of strands of worsted weight yarn, hold them together, and use that as my thick yarn. Because if you try to buy even processed thick yarn, you know, like a weight of 5, a weight of 6, that's still too thin. And the thicker yarns, the bulky, the chunky yarns, it looks like a big skein, right? It's not a big skein because a lot of the yardage is in the thickness. So it seems like you're getting a lot of yardage, but you're really not, and you're spending more. So it's cheaper if you just take thinner strands of yarn, a 4 or even thinner than a 4, and hold them together to make your thicker yarn and work with that. It's a lot easier. Well, all right, it's a lot cheaper, but it's more time consuming. Now, what you can do is instead of just like working with all of those individual strands and just holding them together and hope they don't get tangled, if you have all those strands and then you do a chain stitch with all those strands held together, do a chain and use the chain as your thick yarn for arm knitting. At least it will be more cohesive and it'll be together as like one unit. And that way it won't get quite as marled and tangled and so forth. Yeah, Ginger says that jumbo is not economical at all, and Ginger is very much right on that one. And
Well, I was just at Walmart, like when I texted you earlier, and literally at what that you've seen those big old cakes of that cover story. They're about 500 of like 6-weight bulky, and they had them like 29 something at Walmart. My Walmart had them in clearance for $10.
It's funny you say that because
I'm still
actually,
thinking, I'm like,
you mean this?
yes. And they also had the Burnett blanket tweed for $7, and I'm like, okay, yes, that's cheaper.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not a clearance price.
I mean, this was I think it was like, yeah, like 20 something dollars, and I've been experimenting with this. And I mean, the feel of it is great, and I'm using I think size 13 needles or something like that. But if you really want to do like, I mean, like arm knitting, holding a whole bunch of like worsted strands together and doing, or Navajo ply even, it just give all those strands some sort of cohesion, holding them together. It's way cheaper. And also you can create some really cool colorways by, adding a little bit of this fiber and a little bit of that fiber. But yeah, whatever you do not do roving. Whoever,
oh my gosh, yes.
Whoever posted that should be shamed and shunned.
Whoever started that.
That's what I'm saying.
The first person who's like, oh, I'm going to do this with this, even though I should be spinning it and making it into pretty yarn so that way it doesn't fall apart in the wash, or when you decide to flick it because you're trying to get comfy in bed. No, that was just a waste of money. Flat out a waste of money. Granted, you know what, though? It's not my money, so I guess I can't really complain too much about it. Well, but I can complain about the influencing.
Has anybody ever seen What We Do in the Shadows? It's a mockumentary vampire movie. It's a comedy / horror, and it's basically picture a documentary about a bunch of vampires who live together in a flat in, I think, New Zealand. It's absolutely hysterical. And at one point, they're talking about how like one of them has to do like the walk of shame, and all they do is just like yell at him, shame, 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 shame. Yeah. Shame. So whoever came up with that idea, I mean, I think it was perhaps a cool idea, but the practicality of it, no, they didn't like think like the ramifications of the aftermath through thoroughly.
Well, I think they were just chasing the spotlight. That's when it comes to something like that. The person who's doing the influencing, to me, they're chasing the clout.
Well, but also they really need to accept the responsibility, though. Because I can only imagine how many people did that, spend tons of money, and then were horribly disappointed. Or there are these other things. I saw this horrible story. It was a snippet where there are these like squishy toys, and one of these people on TikTok or something like that showed how if you put the squishy toy in the microwave, it'll make it more malleable and easier to squish. A little girl. It's not funny.
No, it's
little
not,
girl.
but
not.
She put it in the microwave. She took it out. It exploded, and she was horribly burned. She's okay, but she suffered from like some really bad burns as a result of it. Okay, what we do in the shadows, it's not not my Long Island. Maybe Long Island in like New Zealand or something like that. But that's not local. They no. If it was, I would be amazed. Unless if it's like a different. Well, actually, okay. No, I'm thinking. All right, the original movie version, not the TV show version. If the TV show version is what you're talking about, that might be Long Island, like here where I live. But if you're talking about the movie version, that was, I believe, in New Zealand. I'm sorry, digress. But no, she was badly hurt, and she wasn't the only one that this happened to either. And because they followed something that they saw on the internet, and I mean, on the one hand, caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's like, take everything that you see and hear with a grain of salt. But they're kids, and if your content is geared towards kids, the creators should accept responsibility to an extent of what they like. There should be like a disclaimer, a warning saying, do this with parental supervision, something like that.
Well, that, a child
It's
that
upsetting.
age should not have been able to have access to a microwave.
Well, I mean, she even like, I think I saw
100%.
like surveillance camera footage of her like climbing on the counter to get to the microwave and so forth. It was like
it's just like, what was it? A couple of years ago, you had teenagers snorting condoms. They literally snorted them. And it's like, okay, don't worry, your parents didn't use them correctly either. But still, they were snorting them because of something they saw on TikTok. Same with the Tide Pods.
I was going to say the Tide Pods.
Tide Pod challenge.
Or what is it? The cinnamon challenge. I mean, that can cause really big, ramifications because it
cinnamon,
is a powder.
nutmeg, yeah.
And then you inhaling it, you got issues.
Right. Or
so whoever's doing like the ice bucket challenge, that's different.
Right.
That raised a lot of money for ASL.
And also, I mean, yes, you're going to get like a shock from the temperature, but you're not going to go into hypothermia shock because it's like it's not like you're doing a bath.
Yeah, and you're supposed to do it during the summer anyway. So
right. But there was also the NyQuil chicken.
Never heard of it. Oh, yes.
That's something you do not want to do. No, it was like marinating chicken breasts in NyQuil, and they were blue. That's a good tip off. It's not blue raspberry. It's like NyQuil blue. You don't do that, I mean, I understand that the Darwin Awards, they're looking for contestants, but please,
like what Sandy just said.
For a long
exactly.
time,
licking the toilet. No. I mean, I look at it this way. Like between the four of us, we don't exactly have like monumentally big channels with like 35 million subs and all these like crazy influencer deals and stuff like that. Like we're normal peoples here, all of us, we're normal peoples.
Well, we're normal. Matt's the non-normal one.
We're normal peoples. But the thing is that also we don't like
love you, Matt.
We don't we don't relieve ourselves in the gene pool, okay? Like we are the stuff that we contribute.
It's telling somebody to go out and we're not telling somebody to go out and like, snort detergent or something.
Right. I mean, the thing is, our content is it's more common sense. It's more wholesome. Like we're not going to be doing like challenge videos unless if it's like, okay, we challenge you to create a new pattern. That's acceptable, but we're not going to.
Extent of influencing goes to try these new hooks or
exactly
check out this new yarn.
Yeah,
right.
It's not like.
Well, Tony G, common sense is a misnomer. There's nothing common about common sense anymore. I'm sorry. It's common sense. It's named incorrectly.
The only thing that I can get blamed for is I took my mama's credit card and bought $600 worth of yarn. That's the only thing someone can blame me for.
Well, no, then you pass the
But I
blame
ain't
off to
paying it
Tippy.
back.
You
I
just
mean,
pass the blame right off onto Tippy. We know you. But no, and that's why, even though like, I'm not going to toot my own horn about my content as being like, fab or anything like that. No, but
It is.
I
It
always try
is.
to.
So toot it.
No,
You
no, no,
got
no,
flowers
no. I
coming.
I always try to go with, like wholesome, and the three E's: enlighten, educate, and entertain. I'm not going to do reaction videos or prank videos or a lot of these inflammatory things that just try to get a rise out of people, because it doesn't add anything constructive to the mix.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I mean, yes, right now we're sort of kvetching and whinging about stuff that goes on, but I think that we all cumulatively agree, that like there's some content that just, it's sort of like, are you a part of the solution or a part of the problem kind of thing? You know what I
Yes,
mean?
exactly.
And the thing is that, I mean, I think that entertainment does have value. Thank you, library lady. Entertainment has a value. It keeps us sane. But as far as what is construed as entertainment, there are many fine lines, and people keep trying to like push the membrane and push the barriers and keep like trying to like instigate things. Like here's a great
Yeah.
example as far as like
Putting,
pushing
putting,
the
putting glue in
barriers.
their hair?
What?
Putting glue in their hair?
No, no. Yesterday I was at Walmart and I was picking up some yarn, and I'm, waiting to get up to the register, and there was a guy in front of me with a woman. I don't know what the relation was, and so they were kibitzing amongst themselves, and then in very quick succession, it went from transphobic to homophobic to sort of xenophobic, racist, misogynistic. Like he was like trying to like check all of the boxes on his hate list, and I was getting really upset, and I imagined that I was getting visibly upset because I wear my heart right here where everybody can see it. Like my face turns red and my face goes rigid, and I was getting very upset. I
Mm.
was. And the cashier was looking at me, and like I go to the same store like probably every week easily, and I've seen her there a million times, this cashier. She's a sweetheart. We talk, we're friendly. And when I came up, she's like, "Are you okay? You look like you were going to explode." And I'm like, "Well, it took a lot of restraint not to, because it was just so infuriating how he was like going on the whole freedom of speech thing, and how right now he's like, yeah, well, right now I can say whatever I want, freedom of speech." Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, yes,
Is that
freedom of
Paco?
speech.
Huh?
What's that?
Is
Is
that
Paco
Paco
freaking out?
whining?
Yeah.
Does
He's
Paco
looking
need a
at me.
taco?
He wants a snack.
Paco wants a taco. There you go. So my thing is that yes, freedom of speech exists. I have nothing against freedom of speech, but freedom of speech, in my opinion, does not necessarily include hate speech. And if you feel that, okay, that's fine. But getting on a soapbox in Walmart and spewing it, I think that there's like a time and a place for everything. It's like if you were hanging out with your friends and your friends all agree with you about a certain thing and you're all voicing your opinions about something, that's the time and the place for it. But to do it in an
Mm.
open forum, in public, in a store, you're going to get some looks,
Well, here's the thing too, though. But this is what I've said it plenty of times when I've heard that hate speech. They're like, "Oh, freedom of speech." I'm like, "Well, freedom of speech protects you from the government, not the people."
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Or freedom of speech. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but there are still also consequences. You can do whatever you want in a free country, but there are still consequences. it was very upsetting. And then so I said my piece to the cashier saying, listen, I'm not bashing you because you weren't the one saying it, but what just happened to me was really gross and not acceptable. And I had to say something, And then when I was on my way out, there was the obligatory guy at the door. And I'm like, the guy that just walked out of here, he's like, yeah. I'm like, there was something that just happened that was like really out of line and not cool, not appropriate, not called for or anything like that. And the thing is, he wasn't directing it at me, but that's not the point.
Still,
And
he's vocal about it. That's
right.
That's the deal.
Right. So the thing is that I was saying how it was really vulgar and really upsetting and so forth. It was like a lot of the go back to your country kind of thing that he was going on about. And so the guy was like, oh, well, he's a regular. And I'm like, uh-huh, so am I. It's like if you're supporting hate speech and you're supporting bigotry and you're supporting general antagonizing nastiness, that's almost just as bad as being it yourself,
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that he shouldn't be allowed in the store. I'm saying that he should like filter himself somewhat. It's like feel what you want, but like don't go out of your way to piss people off. Excuse me.
Well, and that's what some people do. It seems like they intentionally like do things on purpose to get a rouse out of the general public. Why? Is your life that boring that you got to create this stuff outside your home in front of God knows how many strangers just so you can get a rouse and get your little jollies off?
Well, I mean, the only thing like my defense mechanism is to be snarky and a bit bitchy. I'll admit that. So, like when I was talking to the cashier and I'm like, I don't know who peed in his gene pool, but I think that his family tree needs a couple more branches. And he's like, well, the lady that he was with, I don't know if it was his sister or his wife or whatever. And I'm like, well, with him, what's the difference?
Oh.
Like that's the only defense that I have is to be snarky AF, and
Yeah.
it's all I got.
I mean, some people have two brain
Kitra,
cells.
that's Paco.
That's
little
Paco.
Paco.
Some people just have two brain cells that are fighting for third place.
Or they're fighting for dominance. Who can like which brain cell can kill the other one off first. But I don't know. I just it was upsetting, and it got my hackles up. I'll be the first to admit, but I didn't act on it. Like I didn't get violent, and I didn't, verbally assault him or anything like that. Because if I said anything, all of a sudden he would probably go on the defense. Like I'm just defending my right to say what I want. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, do you think that everybody's going to agree with you? Like, I don't know. Yes, Panda, he needs belly rubs.
Well,
Yes,
and like
look at that
around
little face.
here, we have to, we don't have to be careful. It's not as redneck as everybody thinks it is. But it's like, it's one of those two, you just got to be careful regardless, because everybody can legally here for our state conceal carry without a license.
Yeah.
So you don't
Right.
have, you wouldn't know, oh, I'm going to get in an argument with somebody. Next thing you know, you're in the hospital because with
Right.
some extra holes inside of you.
Right. Well, see, Michael, in Texas, you were just saying that, like you have like a slight redneck thing. See, on Long Island, we have a white trash thing.
That's the only place in New England I never went, is Long Island.
No, honey, it's Long Island.
Long Island. I know Panda loves some Long Island iced teas though.
LAWNGUYLAND. Long Island. Long Island.
Well, there is one other place I've never been that I would love to go. Boys Town,
Oh, which is
Rhode Island.
okay. I've heard, but never been.
I thought that was my backyard.
Girl, that's your milkshake. That brings all the girls to the yard.
And they're like,
I
it's
can't
better
go
than
on
yours,
with that
right?
because I.
Yeah, see, Panda, you got it. It's Lawn Guy Land. There you go. But yeah, it was. I'm sorry for kvetching up a storm. I apologize. It was just something that I want to talk about. That it's. I know it exists, but it's just not necessary.
No,
You know.
people. I mean, they just.
I mean, at the very least, he wasn't burning a cross in the parking lot. I'll give him some credit.
Yeah.
Eh.
Was he buying wooden nails in a gas can?
No, he wasn't buying, rope or anything like that. But
You had to go with rope.
no, well, it started because he was buying beer, and his lady friend was like, "Well, why aren't you buying this beer?" And then all of a sudden, he like quietly, it started with him quietly turning into her with the reason why he wasn't buying a specific beer.
He probably
Draw
couldn't
your own
afford it.
conclusions.
He probably
Draw
couldn't afford
your
it.
own conclusions. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it's like it all started with the beer, and then
Is
it just
is
snowballed
there a
from
manly
there.
beer? I never came
What?
across it. There's supposed to be a manly beer? What's the deal?
Okay, I will briefly touch upon that. It was because there was someone who is transgendered who did a commercial with or like a promo thing with said beer, and that created like a huge snowballing ripple effect in the atmosphere, and that sent like shock waves out, and people were boycotting it and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, the
And
rednecks were
so
getting their steamrollers out and
it
flattening
started
y'all.
with the beer thing. We'll leave it at that. Okay. But yeah, it was just like this domino effect, and he went from like, talking to his lady friend in hushed tones about it. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it was just like this hate rant that was going on. And it was just,
Yeah.
no need, you
There
know,
isn't. There's just
I mean,
there's no need for anything. It's just can
I'm
we all
not
just get along?
saying that everybody should love everybody, because I mean, the 60s were a long time ago. You would know, right, Russ?
Ooh.
And Patty's right. It's like it's like being heavy and someone talking about um, you know, about being skinny and about,
Right.
Well, it's just like I have disabled veteran handicapped license plates. There's good days that I walk normal, and but literally walking 10 feet, my whole everything can change. And so I park in the handicap spots, and then I'm getting out, and I get 80, 90-year-olds. You don't need that spot. You're a youngin. Just look at all my retort is. It used to be a lot more than that, but it just got to where it was just like, well, look at my plates, and I walk away. It used to be a lot worse.
Mm. So the
But
thing is,
there's,
like,
like Panda says, you can't argue with stupid.
well, that's why I didn't say anything,
exactly.
So the thing is that I'm not saying that everybody should love each other, because I think that that's unrealistic. But I would just say, just respect each other, like respect each other's space. Even if it's auditory, respect each other's space. It's like don't try to antagonize people for the sake of antagonizing people. That's all.
In the end, you may antagonize somebody that's a little more antagonistic than you are, and you end up,
Yeah.
you end up,
That should be on some meds that aren't on meds.
yeah.
Well, I mean, another example, I know of somebody who is Asian, who works in customer service, and a patron came up to them, and the first thing that they asked was, "Are you Chinese?" And so the response to that, which I liked, was, excuse me, the response to that was, and that has to do, like, and what does that have to do with my job?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, they handled it, you know, well and professionally, as well as one could. You know, it's just like, and what does it have to do with what? And that was this week, that this happened. I don't know, maybe I'm oblivious. I don't know. I don't think I'm delusional, you know.
No, I mean, what I don't think you're not delusional. And I will agree to a point where getting more and more oblivious to things because, well, especially like for me and you, I know how your mind works with
I'm
with this
sorry.
stuff. You know, I know how your mind works with this stuff. Like, because me and you've talked plenty of times, and you know, ideas, and how our minds work with crochet
Hmm.
and yarn. And so when we're out and about, we're really not we're paying attention to what we need to do, but not paying attention to anybody else because in our mind, we're already working up 3 projects down the road.
You could call it self-involved. It's okay. You know, it's just like I've got like enough going on in here that I don't need to worry about all this other stuff. I agree is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You know, so it's not that we're oblivious. It's just, we don't really care. We're in our own space. We're doing whatever we're doing in our head because we're thinking about, hate to say it, content, our next pattern, what we're going to do next. Or, oh my God, an epiphany happened. You're like, oh my God, now I can figure out how I can do what wanted to do.
Hmm.
Because you've been sitting there racking your brain for 3 weeks trying to figure out, how am I going to do this? I know and then you figure it out. And
Yeah.
that's happened to me in the middle of the store. It's like, oh my God, I just figured it out. And people
Yeah.
look at you crazy. And you're like, oh, it's nothing. You know?
You know, it's like, was it Archimedes with the bathtub?
Mm,
Was it him?
I don't remember.
He was figuring out water displacement, and he was in the bathtub because he was being told, like, you know, how to figure out like the amount of gold was in a certain item. And so he figured out through water displacement, and it was through being in the bath because he got into the bathtub and the water rose.
Yeah.
And so if you take an item, you know, that's like, you know, like a chalice or something, Archimedes, there you go. So like you take a chalice and you put it in a container that's like half full of water. You put it into there, and how much water is displaced as a result of that item being in there. That way you can tell the volume of things. That was Archimedes. And that's the whole, like, eureka, I found it. He was the one who started that meme, if you will. You know, how many centuries ago.
Right?
But yeah, you know, but yeah, like my brain is a very twisted labyrinth. What can I say?
Archimedes, I thought he played for the Red Wings.
I don't watch sports.
Well, I thought Red Wings came from Wingstop.
I just don't know.
Me neither.
I'm just
You know,
sitting here winding my yarn.
I just don't know. I just don't know.
Here,
I
oh my
mean,
gosh, here.
I occasionally joke that I would like to be in a controlled coma for a couple of years and see how things pan out over time. And it's like, you know, wake me up in a couple of years. You know, just I feel like a nice long nap.
I know, right? Get a stasis pod so you don't really age anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, yeah. You know, I mean, Sigourney Weaver did it. Why can't I?
Set it
You
for
know,
300 years from now. That should
you
be
know,
enough time.
just no face huggers, please. I can do without the face huggers, please. You know, I wouldn't mind, you know, like, you know, like for instance, you know, Peanut, he can join me. I mean, as long as like, can you imagine? It's like I'm in the pod, and then all of a sudden you see me like this.
I know, right? Because he's the face hugger.
Exactly. He just like planted himself on my face, and it's like his tail is wrapped around my neck, you know. I swear, though, the face huggers it was the second movie in Aliens, the face hugger scene where Newt and Ripley are in the infirmary, that scared me so bad. I mean, I was single digits. That scene traumatized me as a kid.
Oh, the one that scared me was from the first one, when they're in the alien ship and the first through the mask.
Well, yeah, that was
through the mask and like got him.
Right. What was his name? The actor.
You know how long I have not watched those movies since I was a kid. Since they came out, I don't like
Hey, Fuzzy
rewatching a
Butt.
lot of movies.
And I'm sure, speaking of like doing dumb stuff, at the
Mm.
time, I'm sure somebody trying to do cut the hell out of themselves.
Oh
When he was-
yeah, yeah,
when
with
he
the
was
knife.
doing, like
It was Bishop, the android.
yeah, he was doing yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as Alien 2, the favorite lines on that one were, game over, man, it's game over, game over. Yeah, why don't you put her in charge? Or it was Newt saying, Ripley, she doesn't have any bad dreams. She's plastic. Referring to her doll. It's like, she doesn't have any bad dreams, Ripley, because she's a doll. She's made out of plastic, and then Ripley's like, yeah, sorry.
I get my legs are starting to cramp. I'll be right back. I gotta stand up.
John Hurt. John Hurt was the actor that he suffered from the first face hugger thing. John Hurt.
Because that thing came out of his stomach.
Yeah, John Hurt. Such a good actor. I know. I got it. Yes.
One of my favorites.
Panda, you're right. Have you ever been confused for men? No, have you? Yes, that was Vasquez. That was such a good line.
Yeah, that my one of the actors that I really liked passed away Monday.
Who?
Val Kilmer.
Really? Mm-hmm. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, Val Kilmer passed away.
Oh. I'm so out of touch with pop culture that I was not aware. Now, are you sure? Because I can't tell you the number of times where there's like
all over the papers and stuff.
No, because like I can't tell you the number of times where I saw like it was a headline saying that such and such had died. Like it was on like a video, and like Brad Pitt or something like that, and like his image was in the thumbnail, and so his image is in the thumbnail, and then the description, like the title says, celebrities that have passed away. Now Brad Pitt is in the thumbnail, but it's a clickbait thumbnail.
No.
So I'm just saying that it happens.
Like, this was reported like the New York Times, and
okay.
Like if I see something on some weird website, I don't pay attention to it. But this is like the New York Times and CNN and
respectable news sources.
He died of throat cancer.
Oh.
That's why and it was crazy because Monday I had off from work and I was messing around with the TV and I was watching Top Gun, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part in that, I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody, with Val Kilmer in it, and it was like the next day I heard that he had passed away. I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
Well, I mean, even though watching it now is kind of painful, growing up, I loved the movie Willow, where he played Mad Mardigan.
Yes.
I mean, I love Warwick Davis. I do. And he's done some good work.
I liked when he played when he played Jim Morrison.
Not Warwick Davis. You mean Val Kilmer?
Yeah,
I
Val
couldn't picture
Kilmer.
Warwick Davis playing Jim Morrison. That would be a real pip.
No, Val Kilmer played a really good Jim Morrison.
He did. He really did. You know, between The Doors and Willow, those were two really good movies of him. Oh, Real Genius. That was a great movie. You know, Real
Tombstone.
Genius. If you guys haven't seen Real Genius, I'm pretty sure that it is available to watch on YouTube for free. You know, I never saw him as Batman, so I can't vouch for that. But
I mean, he did just okay. I mean,
Real Genius was hysterical. It was really, really good. It's a very 80s movie. He was super young then. He was very, very young, but it's a great movie. It's got a lot of laughs in it. Would totally recommend it.
that's like when you think of Tom Cruise, you think of him sliding across the door in his socks to that song.
Oh, right. Yeah, actually,
When he
Tom
goes
Cruise.
and he slides in, that's like
Yeah, well that was Risky Business. I mean, I saw
yes,
that, was not really a huge fan. There are only two movies that I can think of with um uh Tom Cruise that I actually like. First one, Legend,
yeah.
um,
Legend was
with
good.
Tim Curry, Mia Sara, and you know you've got devils and unicorns and fairies and gnomes and stuff. It's very whimsical. Ironically, Ridley Scott, who did Alien, also did Legend. There you go.
Yeah.
Everything comes full circle. Um, so yeah, Legend was a really good one. And I didn't watch it for him. I watched it for like the ambiance and the atmosphere because the special effects in the 1980s, everything had to be tangibly done. So it was really impressive. The other one was Interview with a Vampire because he plays the villain that you love to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dill, exactly. He played a great Lestat, you know. But other than that, I'm not a fan of his work, to be perfectly honest. You know, there's certain actors that I just can't get my head around, you know, like Nicolas Cage. The only thing of his that I really liked was uh,
Oh, come on, The Rock.
no, 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 no. Nicolas Cage, it was Raising Arizona. And that's because he gets like mercilessly beaten up a number of times. It's funny. Yeah, Con Air, no, no.
The
I mean,
Rock.
if I'm not going to be
God
dismissive
in
if you guys
60
like certain
Seconds.
movies, that's totally fine. Hi, Spring. Hello. How are you, honey bunny? Um,
God in 60
so
Seconds.
I never saw Gone in 60 Seconds. I never saw Fast and the Furious. There are plenty of movies that I have not seen. Um, but you know, there are certain ones that I just really groove on and I really enjoy, you know, like,
I
you
remember
know,
I remember watching the original God in 60 Seconds when I was like a teenager, I want to say. The original, because the one that Nicolas Cage make was a remake. And
how
the
it usually
original
is these
original one was
days.
like in the 70s.
Yeah. You know, yeah, it is sometimes hard to separate the artist from the art. Yeah, it is. I mean, like I give this example often with Peter Sellers. Him as a person, from what I've heard and read and seen, he was not a nice person in person.
No.
But as far as him, you know, as a character actor, I think he was a genius. Now the thing is that with him and all of the different characters that he played, each character, yeah, it's him, but he plays his characters as if like each one is his own person. Now, a lot of actors today, it's almost like they're playing the same character over and over and over again. It's sort of like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. If you removed the head of one, the other one's head would grow in its place. To me, they're just so synonymous with each other. You know, they either play a criminal or a cop.
But still my favorite one is The Scent of a Woman.
Didn't see it.
Didn't see that
Yeah.
one?
No,
Oh my gosh.
no. I mean,
I
Dog Day
think you
Afternoon,
would
I
like
thought was
it.
pretty
I think
good.
you would actually like it.
You know, Dog Day Afternoon. Russ, are you okay?
Yeah. I'm cutting out, so
Oh.
I just wanted to
Well,
tell
why
you
didn't you
guys
say
goodbye
something instead of making moose ears?
because I didn't want to interrupt your guys' conversation.
That's okay.
Well, interrupt.
That's okay. Yeah, if you have to bounce, it's okay. We love you anyway.
Bounce.
I will here in a few minutes. Bye.
Okay. Well,
Bye, girl.
listen, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a good night, Russ. Oh,
Sorry, I
but
had like this weather's just really hurting my legs, so
messing
I
up
have to
your
get up and
legs.
stretch every now and then.
Was
Yeah, I
it your
mean,
legs or your back?
that's my legs. I don't have a back issue.
Oh,
Panda does.
Yeah, for the past 2 weeks, I've been dealing with the whole back thing too. It was
Yeah,
not a good time.
he went and got some, I don't know, some shots in the back for the past 2 Tuesdays, and under anesthesia, they X-ray guide
hi,
it,
Cecilia.
Yeah.
and he can't feel his lower back, so they done something.
Well,
Well,
Panda, since you're here,
they said my
sorry.
back's bad, but they said it's not bad enough. They want to wait for the shots, so they want it to get worse. So
Yeah.
I attacked the last week and a half. So if you see me do like twitchy thing, it's my
It's
back.
okay. Panda, since you're in the chat, yeah, I'm glad that the shots are super helpful for you. Now, for all of you out there in TV YouTube land, if you're not aware, Panda he has a gaming channel, just like I have a gaming channel, and I want everybody to encourage him to make more videos and post more videos because I saw his last one and I caught like the tail end of what he was streaming, and it was really funny, and I really want to see him do more. Just work on your audio, and I think you are a hoot, and I want to see you play more, definitely.
I want to
So,
see more dancing videos myself.
oh yeah, oh me too. I I was like, oh, Panda was busting some moves,
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I will never say that I can dance, but Panda got the moves. So yes, everybody, I want to encourage all of you to stop by Panda's YouTube channel. Panda, if you would like to put up the name. I mean, if it's Pandemonium Express, then by all means, just like if like you could pop up a link, that's totally cool. But I would like to share the love and the support, and swing by his channel. The only complaint that I have is I know you have a busy schedule and everything like that. Post more.
You're the only one who can post links because he's not a moderator.
Oh, okay. Pandemonium Express. Everybody, go there. Because it's good stuff. And it was funny. It was really funny, like because the way your commentary, Panda, reminded me of me, except with one difference. Panda, you're funny. I don't think I'm funny.
He's a big scaredy cat. I told him, we were talking about that. I think it was last night. I was like, yeah, we can get The Last of Us, and that could, one gameplay of that can get you like a year's worth because he can't even make it 5 minutes before he's got to shut the video off because he gets so scared.
I mean, there are so many games that, I think that you would love, like Little Nightmares. That's a great one. Definitely really creepy. Any of the Resident Evil games, quite frankly. Is it Until Dawn? I think it's Until Dawn. That one's a great one if you like spooky games. There's so much out there. I really encourage you, Panda. I would love to see you posting more because I think you are definitely entertaining to watch, and I would like to see more. You know,
Yeah, he's
so I encourage you. You know,
he's a big old scaredy cat.
well, I mean, there are plenty
And
of
that's what
cute and fuzzy
makes it
games out
though.
there. What's that?
And that's what makes it, in my opinion, like for him, is his commentary, his scares, his jumps, you know, that you don't see that in a lot of other gaming channels or people that are just playing games. You don't see them, you know, their reactions to getting scared. Oh, and he lets it out.
Yeah, and I like it. You know, I mean, like right now, I'm you know, okay, Carson, thank you for joining. Um, I hope you have a good evening. Because right now I'm bouncing back and forth between Baldur's Gate 3, which there's some creepy stuff that goes on in there, but the other one that I'm doing is called Atomfall, which takes place in a post-apocalyptic England. Um, you know, your character basically wakes up in a fallout shelter, and they come out and like you know, there's ruins all over the place and so forth. So it's sort of like Fallout, the video game, but takes place in England. And there's a lot of really thick English accents. So it reminds me kind of like We Happy Few. So you've got sort of like this dystopia in England with a bit of a post apocalyptic feel to it. Thank you, Coley. So it's so far so good. The only thing is that there's like very limited resources as far as like scrounging for, you know, things to heal yourself or food or, you know, things of that sort. Resources are limited, but so far I'm rather enjoying it. The environment is gorgeous. So I've been bouncing back and you know in between both of those games at the moment. So I mean,
Mm,
Panda, I'm sure you know that there are a million and one different kinds of games out there. And because you have a
yeah.
computer, you have perhaps more options than I do, even because you can go through Steam and you know pick up more than I can. Um,
He's been getting a lot because Epic's their launcher every I don't want to say every week because I could be wrong, but they have a free game and he's been grabbing a lot of the free games. For me, like my type of game, I don't mind like there's one game that we will play together, Project Zomboid. I don't mind that, but I prefer games like Crusader Kings 3 or Civilization type games. That's me. I know I could care less about that other stuff.
I do have the PlayStation Game Pass. Yes, I do, Panda. Actually, because you have a PC, there is a game. It's not so much of a game, it's more of like a meditation almost, which you might enjoy. It's called Tiny Glade. And it's this sort of building simulation where you can build like little scenes with like little buildings, like little cottages or castles or things, and you can change the terrain. And it's supposed to be very intuitive. And Mad Morph has a YouTube channel. Um, I love watching him, and he's done a bunch of videos on Tiny Glade, and I could listen to him talk forever. You know, he has a delightful English accent, and he also does like ASMR type videos with his video games as well. But unfortunately, it's not available on PlayStation, but it is available on Steam. So that's something that you could look into. I don't think it's expensive at all, but it looks really charming and very cozy. Mad Morph does he prefers the cozy games, um, but I just have to wait for certain things, you know. Um, I did try a demo for it. It was like the Epic Mickey Magic Paintbrush thing. It was one of those games, and I tried the demo first, and I was so glad that it was a free demo because it was so disappointing. It had like nothing. It had nothing to do with Disney, really. It was just very disappointing. Hello, Mima. Hello. Um, I mean, I've always got an eye out for new games. I was thinking about maybe going back to Minecraft because there have been several updates since the last time I played. Um, the only thing about Minecraft is that it's sort of like how they say that Seinfeld is a show about nothing.
Yeah.
Minecraft, it's almost like a game about nothing because you build stuff, which is great. It's fun. But as far as there being like a storyline, there isn't a storyline. There is a goal where you like kill the dragon, but that's kind of it as far as like the penultimate thing that you can do.
See, every holiday we used to, with my brother-in-law, Panda's brother, and my sister-in-law, we would always do a Minecraft server with a bunch of mods, like Feed the Beast, and you could build machines and stuff, and then it added more realms than the Ender Dragon, and it added a lot of more playthrough, and I enjoyed that because there was a lot of scientific type stuff in there too. You could build your own, so you needed power, so you had to build. You could do either water wheels or windmills or even solar power stuff, and
Yeah, I
there was
only
a
have
lot
the
of
bedrock,
scientific stuff.
so with me it's just redstone. That's all I can do. Because I don't do any. I'm not on Java. I'm on Bedrock, and I don't do any mods. So it's just redstone is all you can really do. Wait, what was that? What was that? FTB Minecraft is
Feed,
dope.
yeah,
FTB?
It's called Feed the Beast.
Ah, gotcha. See, I'm
It's
not hip to the lingo you kids talk about.
it has like you name it, so many mods, and plus more dimensions that you can go and explore, and there's progressions through those dimensions to get to the end of that dimension, so you can go to another dimension, and it's
There you
and then
go.
they have a dimension that's nothing but mining, and so you can, if you need coal, you just pop into that dimension and just go mining, and you end up with everything under the sun.
There's
Man,
two
I'm way out
YouTubers,
of this.
Evan and Caitlin. They have a gaming channel. They have like a crafty DIY channel, but they also have a gaming channel. And they were playing Minecraft on, I think it was Java, with like 50, 70 some odd mods. And it was crazy. It was entertaining. But they haven't done that sort of thing in a really long time. But you know, I think the only like mod that I did once, it was like a Halloween haunted type mod, and everything was spoopy, and there were like zombie cows and things like that. It was cute. It was amusing.
I haven't
I
played
think I
it
also did. It
since
was like a pardon.
I haven't played it since Microsoft bought
There was also
Minecraft.
the Nightmare Before Christmas version that they had, and that was cute. It was a cute skin. But I don't think I've played it in like maybe like 3+ years or so. Who's saying goodbye? Bye, Fuzzy Butt. Thank you for
Bye, Fuzzy.
joining. But
Man, am I
yeah, I
out
mean,
of the
I'm
loop?
always interested in
I'm
playing new
so out
things.
of the loop on these games because the last ones I played that scary was Wolfenstein,
Okay,
which had the zombies running around,
right. It
and
was like Zombie Soldiers,
WoW.
World of Warcraft. I've never played WoW. Yeah, never played World of Warcraft. Because I was
quit
never
playing
big
World of
on.
I did for a little bit, and I was like, okay.
I quit playing World of Warcraft when they came out with one expansion called Cataclysm. That ruined the game for me. I mean, before that, like literally, when me and Panda first met, we didn't play games. Then he went overseas to Diego Garcia, and we found an easier way to communicate because it was like $4.50 per minute on a phone call.
Damn.
So we found a game called EverQuest in 2001.
I've heard of it, never played it.
And we played EverQuest, and that's how we would talk to each other.
That's cute.
Really, Panda? Wolfenstein scared you? That was like one of my favorite games.
Well, Panda scares easily, and that's okay. We love him anyway.
He does scare easily.
But we were playing like, with my sons, like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty.
I got it open.
Yay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I got it. I managed to pry the teeth together again. I'm sorry. Continue, Matt. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm fiddling with this, and all of a sudden I got it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But
Sorry.
all of the like shoot 'em up games,
Mm-hmm.
my kids would just use me as cannon fodder. Like I poke my head up, bang, okay, respawn. Like it was
See,
horrible. And on those control, like on the Xbox and the PlayStation controllers, I hate them.
mm,
I hate them. Give me a
Really?
keyboard any day, and
see,
I'm
I'm
good.
just not. I don't like those type of games out of first person shooters. I just I just never really enjoyed those. Give me a historical based type game, and I love it. You know, especially there's one they ended up ruining it. I got to look at my Steam because they it was medieval, had no magic and stuff in it, which was great, and that's what I liked. And you had to do everything, you know, medievally. I'm trying to think of the name. I got to go to my library. And it
Because
was
Assassin's Creed
Life is
went all over
Feudal.
the place. Like
It, it was
I
called
mean,
Life is
there's little
Feudal, the
historical
MMO,
stuff, but it was like all over.
and
Life is
then
Beautiful?
Life is Feudal.
Oh, Feudal. Gotcha. I'm sorry.
They had an MMO, and it was great until they started adding pay per view, player versus player into it, and I really
Mm.
didn't care for it. And then, but they have a standalone civilization building game, Life is Feudal Forest Village, and I love that. And also like the Crusader King, where it's a map and you just kind of become a king and you just work your way up and conquer the world.
Well, I
But that's
kind of
what I
liked
like.
Dragon Quest Builders. I kind of liked that one because there was an actual goal, and there were like little quests that you're supposed to do, and this, that, and the other. So I kind of liked that because it was sort of like Minecraft because there was building and making stuff.
Mm,
It was very rudimentary, but I also kind of liked it. Eh, you know, what can you
I
do?
mean,
yeah.
I'm old school. Give me Risk any day.
See, I
Okay.
love Rit. I like that risk.
Risk is awesome. I love Risk.
Me and a friend every weekend, I'd go to his house uh, after we got out of work on base. We'd go to his house, and the whole weekend was me and him playing Risk.
Good night, Tammy.
Yeah, because once you start, that game goes on and
Good
on.
night, Christy. That's okay, Christy. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank y'all.
I never played Assassin's Creed. I never got into that one. And I never played Dead Space either. But I think Dead Space is like an Xbox game, I think. But I don't know.
Y'all talking about games I mean I've heard of, but I've never played. And
That's all right.
like the Assassin's Creeds, like some of them I kind of want to play, but then again, it's like I don't because it. Yes, the historical time frame. That's what I really like about them. But I just don't know if I would actually enjoy it because of what you're doing in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want you guys, if you don't mind, I need to scoot for just a minute. Can you
Mhm.
guys hold the fort for me?
Of course.
Thank you. I will be back in two shakes. All right, I'll be right back.
One shake, two shakes. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, I like historical stuff in general. I am a history nerd. I prefer medieval history and below.
Because
You
medieval
know,
history is like it's crazy. It to me it's very interesting. But
it is.
I read a lot, and so um, all the way up to from way back until
Mm.
like the 1930s is usually
See, I don't like anything from the Renaissance period forward. I don't like it. It doesn't catch my attention. It doesn't keep my interest. And like to me, like U.S. history, as fascinating as it doesn't keep my interest. It's not old enough.
it's not old enough.
I love medieval, dark ages, even ancient time, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt. I love those. And there's be times I'll be watching documentaries and I'll pause it because something in there caught my attention. Well, what is that? And I spend like 4 hours researching what that one thing
Researching
was.
something. What was it? I heard the other day that they found another mummy.
They've been finding quite a few mummies this past dig season, and actually fully intact.
They found like a really like the furthest one back or something, like one of the first Egyptian emperors.
Oh, probably. I mean, I haven't really watched that
I
much.
heard it as I was going to work. They were talking about it.
Hmm. But like I know they've been finding a lot of sphinxes that were still being carved
Oh
that were
wow!
hidden under water tables, which tells me, which tells them too that, one, the water was never always that high up in the water tables, but it's just fascinating to know that, here they are,
Hi again.
hey, welcome back, making these awesome sculptures with copper tools at that.
Mm-hmm. Like with Machu Picchu.
Isn't
Yes.
There's some of the stones. There's some of the stones you can't get a knife blade in between. I mean,
well, I mean,
Yeah.
well,
some
the
of the
thing is,
stuff
back
is
then, you didn't get stuff from IKEA back then. You had to, building stuff was like a thing.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but well, I mean, granted, Machu Picchu is more kind of recent than, like, say, a pyramid or whatever, but still the fact that, a primitive culture could make something that's pretty much almost airtight.
Yeah.
It's still airtight. Like the math that was involved to have those blocks sit the way that they sit, especially Machu Picchu, it meant a lot
And
because if it
getting those
didn't sit
blocks
right, they
up
were
there.
gone.
Yeah.
By the way, Panda, if you're planning on playing Alien Isolation, I hope you have sedatives on hand because you're going to need them. You are going to give yourself a heart attack playing that game. Seriously. Because it is one really intense game of cat and mouse, and you, my friend, you are the mouse, and it's not just the alien that you have to hide from. It's also humans. It's also androids. Like everything is out to get you, and in space, nobody can hear you scream.
Mm.
Seriously, like it's fun. I played it. I didn't ever finish it. I got reasonably far into it, but no, seriously, if you're a chicken, I know you're a terrible ninja panda. I know. It's okay. We love you anyway. But if you're a chicken,
Makes
Alien
some really good
Isolation,
video.
that's going to give you a run for your money if you're playing Alien Isolation. But,
It'll give him a run for. It'll make some very interesting videos.
oh yeah, definitely. It's like every 5 minutes you'll be hiding under a bed or in a locker or something like that. And even that won't necessarily save you if you're too noisy, because the AI on that game is really good. Like as far as like hunting you, the AI is very good. They're not like guards that they're like 4 feet away from you and they're like, where is he? Where is he? And then they back away. Like, no, they're smart.
Mm.
So just to give you that heads up, Panda, love you. That's why, like I don't want to be responsible for any coronaries, okay?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I do have Nitro over here somewhere.
There was a good documentary, and it was on like South America, and they were taking this special it was like satellite generated like topography thing, and they could see there was a lot more cities, like
Yeah, that
ancient cities than what we thought, because like they found like these walls like in the middle of nowhere, like
yeah, because
and
they can scan
they
it and
and they
with
can see.
LiDAR, take the trees out, and then you see everything.
Yes,
Or
I
those
thought that was really interesting.
like the drawings, like the drawings that you can see from like hundreds of feet in the sky, but you can't see them on the ground, like spiders and spirals and all sorts of like really cool
That's
designs
in
and
Peru.
things. Yeah, you've seen them, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating that they were able to do that. It's like the original Geo Etch-a-Sketch,
yeah.
Exactly.
if you will.
Well, and like how much has really been lost to history, or like say for instance, a lot of ancient buildings and civilizations alone just lost to sand.
Mm.
I mean, they're sitting there digging constantly in Egypt, 20, 30 feet down and they're finding like tops of buildings.
Wasn't like there like a Byzantine library or something like that? It was like
Alexandria?
this. I think that was maybe like I'm thinking. Granted, I'm thinking Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, like that entryway that was like carved into like the side of a cliff. You know,
Okay.
like with like pillars and an entryway, and it was really gorgeous. But it was like,
Oh, that was
the side of like a rock wall, and there's like this gorgeous entry edifice.
Petra?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's Petra. That's in
Petra.
Monaco. Not Monaco, Morocco.
Yeah.
And that's interesting, to know that they did that, in the I'd say around between 5 and 800 AD that they were able to do that. And it's just, I don't know, it just fascinates me with all that. And then how like the Romans, ancient Romans created concrete that is still being holding stuff up to this day.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, I mean, when it comes to like history and stuff like that, like I'm awful. My dad was the history buff. Dates and stuff like that, and places, dates, and names I could never remember. Um, but Panda, you just wrote LOL nerds. LOL, just kidding. No, nerds, geeks, weirdos. No, all of people who consider them to be such. They this is the home of freaks, geeks, and weirdos. Please,
Hey,
we're all we're
the
all we're all
nerds.
friends here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody, no matter who you are, is nerdy and or geeky in one way or another. Because
Especially,
there's something that
yeah.
everybody has something.
Well, see this right now. This is not like the cool kid lunch table here. No,
I was never on the
as far
cool
as as
kid
far as
lunch
I'm
table.
concerned, this is not the cool kid lunch table. I was never at that lunch table, so that followed me.
I was never at that lunch table either.
No, and I honestly I didn't want to be at that lunch table.
I mean, I played sports and did all of that when I was that age, but I was not one of the chosen few.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
never with the in
I
crowd.
just Cecilia pointed it out, right? Yes, Petra's in Jordan. I don't know why I said Morocco, but yes, it's in Jordan. Still, it's awesome, regardless.
Of course,
Uh,
I mean, history. I mean, I'm fascinated with history, but I can just never remember the specifics. As far as who
I
did what and where. I'm awful with that stuff.
I just love it. I like everything about it, and knowing how they made these monoliths with the technology that they had.
I mean, I'm more into like not so much uh the architecture per se. I'm more about like the textiles and the art forms, and I mean that's my sort of thing.
Well,
Whether it's
yeah, I look at that
spinning
too.
or weaving or sewing or like because I mean those techniques, some of them have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like the whole thing with the lucet, and how you can create some really cool cordage with like a two-pronged fork. I mean that's been around since the age of the Vikings.
Mm.
You know.
Well, and just looking at some of even the designs of these patterns that they either wove or knitted or whatever, that just the designs themselves, that's where I get some of my inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
Or looking at the mosaic tiles
Right.
on, of floors that they're uncovering.
Well, that's how I
And
was inspired to do some of my fillet work. So I understand exactly.
Hey, Panda, I don't have the history of nuggets, but I have the history of pasteles.
Of course you do. I mean, I do love a good chicken nugget. Actually, last night, it's been a while since I've made it, but last night I was feeling industrious. So last night I made spätzle, spätzle,
Pretzel?
Spätzle.
spätzle. But yeah, I
Spätzle.
made that last night. It's basically, for those of you who don't know, it's a sort of German dumpling / pasta. It's made out of flour and eggs and not schnitzel, spätzle. Spaetzle, spätzle. And flour, eggs, a little bit of water or milk, and you create this like viscous batter. It's like thicker than pancake batter, but not as thick as like biscuit dough. It's malleable, but viscous. And so you sort of scrape that off of a board into some boiling water, and you create the sort of like these organically shaped like dumpling noodles that then float to the top. And then when they're floating to the top, you skim them off and you put them on a plate and you eat them. I topped them with some leftover tomato sauce and mushrooms and garlic, and it was lovely. It's a very traditional German dish, although I think traditionally they have like either butter and cheese or oil and garlic and cheese and that sort of thing. Something along those lines. I'm not entirely knowledgeable, but it was still tasty. And it wasn't that difficult to make either.
Well, Skirmshaw was talking about something that just, and this goes on your food. There's a channel, Tasting History with Max Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes through, it's a little history lesson on food, and then he makes it.
I won't say I've seen that one.
He'll take the origins of something and then just do it. And I've seen him, I think there's an episode on that. And the origins and how they ate it back then with what they had back then. And I believe there is, because I've watched all his episodes. I'm not a good cook, or I'm a good cook, but I'm not one of those. I'm not going to branch out and try new stuff. But he is just phenomenal in the history lesson he gives, and then he cooks it and shows you how they did it.
There's another one that actually you might enjoy because it is historical. I believe it's called Townsend.
Yes.
You know it?
Robert Townsend.
And he's got like that really cool little cloth cap, and he looks like he could be like a cobbler or cobbler elf.
Colonial times.
Yeah, and like you're talking like I want to say 1700s maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thereabouts. And so it's like modern, not modern, like contemporary life of that time period, and like what they would eat, what they would do for various things, and like whether it's soup or bread or dessert or what have you,
or hardtack, or
yeah, exactly. And I did look at their website, and they had those hats available for sale, but they're like really expensive. I mean, it's like,
well, because they felt all that there themselves, and they do a lot of that themselves. They don't outsource a lot of
it wasn't wool. No, it was cloth.
Oh,
right. And I'm like, that's cotton. That's not even linen. That's like cotton. I'm like, I'm not spending that much money. I'll make it myself. Do you have a pattern? Can I just, like I'll just make it
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, like I like watching his stuff because the he does like what was it, colonial. Like there was one thing I wanted to I wanted to make. I have it saved on my watch later list, but it was a really popular colonial dessert, and it was semi-sweet, and I can't remember the name of it, but I love it when they go in their, I keep saying colonial, but like their colonial kitchen, and they get in there and they're cooking with the wood through their mud bricks, everything, and it's just phenomenal. I like what they do.
There is a place that I think you might enjoy, maybe. I think you can by any means correct me if I'm wrong, and it would be a trek for you, but it is an entire large scale like restoration type thing. It's called Sturbridge Village. It's huge. Okay. It's absolutely huge. And the whole place is like one big recreation
Oh
of
wow.
like historicalness. Yes. I talking about Townsend just made me think of it. I had gone there a couple of times when I was younger, but I believe it was called like Old Sturbridge Village or something like that. And I mean, like they had like, the schoolhouse, the blacksmith, the tavern, like the whole shabam. Like, yeah, it was large. Kind of a tourist trap.
Is it in Mass?
I can't remember I honestly I can't remember if it was in like Massachusetts or Pennsylvania. I mean, it would be a trek for you. I understand. But like if you were like traveling like out of your zone, for a different reason, that might be like a fun thing for you to visit, from a fun educational kind of perspective.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I liked about going to Mystic Seaport.
Oh, Carrie says
And
yes, in Massachusetts. Like, I haven't been there in like 30 something years, so I forgot.
I liked
Sorry.
Mystic because if you go into the seaport area, everybody just change it. It's late early, or I'd say mid 1700s clothing, everything, and then they're talking to you like moronically, but it's just like they're doing glass beadwork. They're doing it how they did it in the 1750s. If they're weaving, they're doing it how they did it in the 1750s. If they're
Right.
making yarn, that's how they're doing it from there.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
cooking the same way. And everybody's in period dress.
Right, exactly. And more locally to me, there is a place on Long Island, called Bethpage Village. And it's considerably smaller than Sturbridge Village. But Bethpage Village, yeah, I mean, you have like, the blacksmith and the schoolhouse and, the general store and all that sort of thing. And it is in, like I want to say, 1800s, thereabouts or so. And they do a candle walk, during Christmas time, where you can freeze your butt off. And they do like, school field trips and that sort of thing, which I did when I was a kid. It was like institutional. Like if you lived on Long Island and you were a kid, at some point you took a field trip there. And like it was cool, and I haven't been there. So, oh my God. I
See, we
want to say the
don't
last
like
time I was there was like maybe I was 16 at the time.
for us back
So
when
good
we were kids,
good
our
30
field
years
trip
ago.
was either to Paladro Canyon, which is the second largest canyon, or literally, I'm not joking you when I say this, or it was a field trip to the prison.
Oh.
Well, did that when I was in high school because we were taking criminal justice.
Yeah, no, it was everybody, all the middle schools all went out and toured the prisons. Like, okay, I guess this is how y'all telling us not to end up here.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Well,
gotta. When I was in school in junior high. They took us to Folsom Prison.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Nice. Well, when I was in senior in high school, I was taking criminal justice, and yeah, we had to take a field trip to the prison. I think it was Riverhead, and there was you've heard of the program Scared Straight?
Hmm.
Yeah, where like they have troubled youth come in, and the 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 inmates talk to them, usually in a very aggressive manner. Saying, "Is this what you want to do with your life? You know, sit in your chair, right? What are you doing?" That kind of thing. You know, do you want to end up like me? You don't want to end up like me, you know. And so, like, we sat in on that,
Oh
which was
yeah.
interesting. And you know, I don't know how effective that is or not, or I honestly I don't know what the statistics are any more than I know what the statistics are for, you know, recidivism or anything. I don't know, but
I don't think they even did follow ups.
No,
mm, you know,
but,
but it
but
was interesting.
if you ever get in my neck of the woods, Michael, there is a really cool like if you get to the Bay, it's like San Francisco Bay Area, there's a really cool museum. It's the Rosicrucian Museum, and it's
Okay.
all like it from anything from like Egyptian to
Mm.
Samaria to like, and they have this one that you actually walk down into this tomb.
Mm.
Like you can walk into this like tomb room thing. It's really cool.
We
I
didn't
got
do that at
lucky.
the it was at the museum. I think it's the Metropolitan Museum of Art. There's a tomb that you can walk into. I mean, it's all encased in glass, but it's still kind of cool.
I
Oh
got
no, this one
lucky
is
back
like you can touch
in
the walls and stuff. Like you can, it's cool.
2008, I believe, or 2009. I was sitting down to Dallas for a conference for Hilton Hotels, and right across the street was a big museum. I don't remember the name, but they had like 3 days left, so I hurried up and went through it. All the King Tut exhibit,
Wow, that would be
See,
cool.
and you couldn't
that
take
came
pictures.
to a mall near where I live when I was a
That
kid.
irritated me. I couldn't take pictures. That irritated me because that stuff was
Mm.
just, oh,
Yeah, when I was a kid, they were doing an exhibit tour, and they were at, you know, a mall right near where I lived, and that was a big to do. But I don't think I went or remembered it because I was an itty bitty little spiderling, so I honestly don't remember. But um, you know, I should get out to the city and go to the museums there because I haven't been in decades, and I really should go. Between
me,
the what?
me and Panda went. We were up there in the city, same city you're talking about, in 2017. We spent 2 days at the natural, was it the Museum of Natural History?
Hmm.
Like it was just, oh my gosh, it was just, we went from the top floor and worked our way down,
Hmm.
and you needed, we would love to have had a third day to be able to
Yeah.
go in there and explore, because it was just, oh my gosh, that museum is huge, and it was just everything you wanted to know was under one roof.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, the thing is, okay, there's this one room. It's like this rotunda. It's this really large room with all of these sort of vignettes of, you know, like a scene in the Arctic when you got little pandas and a polar bear in the back, and then there's another one with like monkeys, you know, and everything was like it was. They were alive at one point, and now they're stuffed. Um, and then in the middle of it was this huge blue whale, and you were always afraid that it was going to fall from the ceiling because it was suspended over all these benches, and you're like afraid to sit there because what if it fell from the ceiling, right? And then at the far end, in this really darkened low lit case, there was a squid, and that scared me senseless as a kid. Do you remember?
Oh, when my kids were
I
young.
think I know which room you're talking about too, though. That's the thing, and that's the funny thing is I think I know which room you're talking about. I
Yeah,
don't think there's a squid in there anymore. I think there was something else,
there
but
there was like some sort
it
of
was
like a squid in
hauntingly
there.
it was hauntingly dark for some reason,
Yeah.
like they were hiding something.
Yeah, no, it's super duper dark because it's supposed to be at the bottom of the ocean where you can't really see, but it was so dark that you could only vaguely make out sort of the shapes and the shadows. And I was always afraid that it was gonna like get me. I know, I'm weird, but I was a kid, you know, and even if I saw it
Yeah.
now, I'd be like,
I got suckered into one when my sons were little. There's a huge aquarium along the coast, and it came on that they had a great white, and they have this huge outer, like it's outer ocean aquarium, like tank thing, and they have like tuna in there, like humongous tuna, like swimming around and stuff. And so I took my sons, and I'm like, "We're gonna see a great white. And they got the great white in the tank, And in the
what happened?
you said you're thinking Jaws, like you're thinking a great white. So we got there, and we looked around, and we rushed to the where the tank was, and the great white was maybe 6 feet, about 6 feet long. It was a baby,
It's still taller than us.
and it was not me, and it was still swimming. I mean, it was like swimming around, and like some of the tuna were bigger than this great white was, and everybody's standing there going, "Oh man,"
Yeah.
because it was
Oh,
like,
okay, but okay, all right. They're saying that then and there. But if they were in the water and they saw that fin in the water, do you think they would stick around to measure it? I don't think
No.
so.
Be out of
no,
there
I
real
mean,
quick.
but you build it up in your head that,
You're
and
gonna
it's
see this
like
10-foot
it's
giant.
like this little, yeah, and you
Yeah,
just
well, okay.
this little baby great white swimming around. And it's
Little
like,
little fun fact. Little fun fact for those of you that might know. In the movie Jaws, okay, to make the shark appear bigger, they hired a little person to play Richard Dreyfuss's part and put the little person into the wetsuit with the all the equipment and so forth, and in the cage. So it was actually a smaller person in the cage being circled around. The shark was circling around the cage with a little person inside to make the shark look bigger. Okay, so the shark really wasn't that big, and that was even when it was an actual shark. Most of the time, when you saw the shark, it was a
An
robot. It
antenna.
wasn't even a real shark. You know, so
Mhm.
sorry to debunk, but I mean, some sharks are not that big. I mean, they can still
Well,
mess you
yeah.
up, even
Well,
smaller though.
yeah, but
like I,
see, the thing is, I'm on the
great
West
whites
Coast.
are known to be huge. Like every time they show us a great
Thank you,
white
Bernard.
that's been caught or whatever, it's at least 9.5 feet to 10. They don't ever show us how small they can be.
Yeah, and off of the coast, like they call it the Red Triangle, and it's off of the coast of San Francisco, since we're in
Oh, I can
California,
only imagine why.
and it goes between the San Francisco Golden Gate, um, and then a couple other sets of islands out past the Golden Gate, and we actually have more great white sharks here than they do in like South Africa and Australia
Yeah,
because
because there is one
because
cape.
of the seal population.
Mm.
There's one cape in South Africa where those sharks from San Francisco will migrate down to that one cape, and they'll migrate between the two places, and that is
Yep.
all. That's the only two places they go. And I because it's the seals.
Yeah, they're following the seals. There was
Mm.
and they actually come into San Francisco Bay. They're known to come in the bay also, in the deeper water. And this guy was out. Paddling around. This was quite a few years ago. He was out paddling, first time sea kayaking, and he was out paddling around Alcatraz.
Mm-mm.
And a great white came up and bit part of the kayak off.
Nope.
Yep.
See, when I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan, me and a friend went up to Kadena Air Base because they had access to like the most beautiful beach ever. And so the water there is nothing like we have here. It's crystal clear because of all the sea dredging we do. And so we're like, oh, we're gonna go snorkeling. We had our snorkeling stuff, and we're sitting there. Literally, you're underwater, but you can still see for quite a ways because it's not dirty. And you see whales. Oh, that's cute. Then you come over here, you see a great white. Goodbye.
Exactly. Well, see, where I
Fun
live,
seeing all this, but
you can't see anything at all. And
it's
we
dirty.
have like there's the North Shore and then there's the South Shore. The
It's
North
not that
Shore,
it's.
well, the North Shore of Long Island, it's all rocks. There is no sand.
Oh
It's all
yeah,
rocks. Okay. The South Shore, oh, you got some nice beaches, but you can't see anything at all. Like
yeah.
snorkel. No, no.
It's all the
And you don't
dredging
even
that
want
we
to go in
do.
the water.
All the dredging that we do that kicks up all that water, all that dirt, and just
Mm.
keeps it going constantly for the sea channels. And but you go over to it was just beautiful seeing all the coral reef, all the different types of fish. And then you look over and then you see a great white in the distance. You're like, I'm out of here. No. Beautiful as it is, I gotta go.
You know what would make me happy? A tub. Just a bathtub. I'd be happy with a bathtub. I don't even need a hot tub. Just a bathtub would really be really nice. Calgon, take me away. I'd be down with that.
When
But as far as like swimming in natural bodies of water, no, no, I'm
when I
good.
lived up in Washington, it was kind of a unstated rule that if you're going to go swim, the Puget Sound is cold. It is cold. So if you go like swimming or stuff, you got to wear like a
April,
wetsuit and the whole
do
nine
not be
yards.
afraid of my pretty spider. Do not be afraid. It's
And
it's
rule
it's
of thumb
pretty.
is if you could see like you could see like killer whales because they were always in the sound. If you see the killer whales, you can go swimming. There's no sharks,
Yeah.
and the
Where
killer
I
what?
whales
gotta I'm gonna
will leave you alone.
I'm
You
gonna
okay,
have to head
Michael?
out.
You
Yeah,
okay?
just my legs are really, really hurting. We got the weather and all that stuff, so but I'm gonna have to head out. I'm gonna thank you for having me up.
Well, thank you for
I'm
joining.
gonna head
So,
out too because
oh,
I gotta eat dinner too.
our grandson home.
okie dokie. Well, listen,
He's
guys,
hanging out with
thank
Rebecca.
you for joining me. I hope all of you, had a great time out there in YouTube land. And I want to thank all of you for joining me.
Mine doesn't. I'm on a MacBook. I'm on a MacBook Pro, and it doesn't. It
But no,
it
I
doesn't. It doesn't do it. It
want to
doesn't do
thank
the
all of you
I
for
don't know.
wipers.
joining today. And
It doesn't
oh,
do
oh,
the like.
Michael just turned into God there for a minute. He had a Zeus moment. um, Seriously, I want to
God of
thank all of you for
Tunisian.
joining. What?
I said the God of Tunisian.
There you go. So listen, everybody, thank you for joining. And you guys all know what to do until next time. I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and stay tuned for tomorrow because I will be having another tutorial up for tomorrow as per usual. And you guys keep doing your little spider yarny thingy and all that good stuff. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Have a good one.
everyone. Have a great weekend.